All right, so buckle up, film fanatics, because this week we're taking a trip to the intriguing and mysterious world of the life of Chuck. You guys know the drill. Hit us with those requests, and we make it happen. This one's been popping up a lot on our radar, even though it's not out everywhere just yet. Consider this your all-access pre-show sneak peek.
Yeah, for sure. This film, it's based on a Stephen King novella, part of If It Bleeds. But here's the twist. It's not your typical start to finish kind of story. We're talking reverse chronological order across three distinct acts. Thanks, Chuck. Then Buskers. And finally, I Contain Multitudes.
Exactly. And that's not all the intel you guys sent over is buzzing. Premiered at TIFF last year, directed by the one and only Mike Flanagan, and with a cast that's, well, let's just say it's stacked. We're here to figure out what makes this film so fascinating, why it's got everyone from film buffs to King fans and Flanagan followers talking. So let's break it down. Starting with this whole backwards storytelling thing. Act 3, thanks Chuck, is where we begin. Imagine a world on the edge, internet's down, disasters everywhere, and in the middle of it all, billboards and ads with this guy, Charles Chuck Krantz, thanking him for 39 great years.
Oh.
It's a weird, unsettling image to start with, right? What stands out to you about that?
Well, right off the bat, it's disorienting. We're thrown into what seems like the end. The world's falling apart, but the focus is on this random guy and a message thanking him for his life. You immediately got to ask, who is this Chuck? And what could he have possibly done in 39 years that matters when everything's going haywire? It flips the script on those typical disaster movies. Instead of building up to the apocalypse, we're starting there.
Yeah, totally. It grabs your attention and makes you want to piece it all together. But then, rewind to Act 2. Buskers. Chuck's seemingly living a normal life, just another guy, and he runs into a street drummer. This everyday moment sparks this crazy surge of joy in him, and he starts dancing spontaneously. It's this burst of life, unexpected. What do you think about that, especially coming right after the apocalyptic opening?
It's a good point. Considering that opening scene, the Buskers act is like a reality check, reminding us that we can still find joy and connect with each other, even in the midst of everyday life. It makes you wonder, is this simple, personal moment a hint at something bigger about Chuck's impact? Maybe it's these small, genuine moments of feeling that actually make up the bigger picture of his life, especially with the thanks, Chuck thing we've already seen.
And then finally, Act 1, I Contain Multitudes. This is where we get to Chuck's childhood. We find him living in a supposedly haunted house with his grandparents, exploring those early years, his fears, everything that shaped him. Even the title, referencing Walt Whitman, points to this vast inner world of a single person. What's your take on experiencing his life in reverse?
I think this structure really forces us to look at how a whole life, from the very beginning, builds up to its meaning and the impact it has. By going backward through Chuck's life, it's not about traditional growth or decline. We're seeing the echoes of his life before those events that seem to have brought about the end of the world. I Contain Multitudes takes on a deeper meaning here, right? It suggests that even as a child, Chuck already has within him the potential of who he'll become and maybe the reason why everyone's thanking him. It makes you stop and think about how much those early experiences shape us.
Here's what I find really interesting. Your sources emphasize that even though it's Stephen King and Mike Flanagan who's known for horror, Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Hill House, the deal, this film isn't straight up horror. Flanagan himself describes it as more like melancholy, existential, character-driven, life-affirming even, and poignant. Does that tonal shift surprise you, considering their backgrounds?
Well, not entirely. You see, King, yeah, he's the master of horror, but his stories often dive into deep stuff about humanity, morality, what it means to be human, beyond just the scares. And Flanagan, even in his horror projects, he always grounds his stories in real human emotion and makes his characters complex. So it kind of makes sense to bring those aspects together. King's bigger themes with Flanagan's character work, the descriptions we're getting, melancholy, existential, life-affirming, poignant, they actually fit well with the more emotional parts of King's non-horror writing, too.
It seems like the film really centers on ideas of mortality, the impact of memory, and the meaning of every life, exploring this whole idea that each person is made up of multitudes, asking us to think about what truly makes a life meaningful, what stays behind, what resonates with you about those themes, especially with the whole backward structure.
It's amazing how that backward timeline actually enhances those themes. By starting with what seems like the end, the film throws mortality right in our faces. Then, going back in time, we're invited to piece together the memories, the experiences that make up a life. It highlights how much every moment counts. It's like the film is saying that the meaning of a life isn't just about what you achieve at the end, but the sum of all those moments, big and small. The multitudes inside each person, revealed in reverse, show us a richness and complexity that we might miss if the story was told normally.
Okay, so let's talk about those early reactions. From the premiere at TIFF, it's been mostly positive. Critics calling it one of Flanagan's most emotionally resonant films. Tom Hiddleston as Chuck getting tons of praise. And Flanagan's direction, especially how he handles that nonlinear structure and emotional depth, is being applauded. The cast, I mean, wow. Mark Hamill, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Jacob Tremblay, and more, all getting rave reviews. We've got some quick takes here. IndieWire called it bittersweet. Collider said beautiful and poignant. And even Bloody Disgusting, of all places, described it as poignant existential drama and Flanagan's most sentimental King adaptation yet. What jumps out at you from these early reviews?
Well, everyone seems to be talking about the film's emotional impact. Bittersweet, poignant, emotionally resonant, these words all suggest that Flanagan's nailed it. He's made a film that, even with the time jumps, really connects with people on a deep level. The praise for Hiddleston tells us he's really captured the heart of Chuck, which is super important in a story like this. It seems like Flanagan really focused on characters and emotions over just big, scary moments.
Some early feedback did mention that the unconventional structure might not be for everyone, and the fact that it's not straight-up horror might surprise some viewers.
Yeah, that makes sense. When a director plays with storytelling like that, there's always a chance some people won't like it. And because King and Flanagan are known for horror, shifting gears like this might catch some people off guard. But for those who are open to a more thoughtful and emotional experience, it could be exactly what they're looking for. It suggests this film is going for something deeper, something that stays with you longer than just a good scare.
All right, fan base time. Stephen King's fans, those constant readers, they're ready to see what Flanagan does with this novella, especially since King himself has given it the thumbs up. And Mike Flanagan's fans, they call themselves the Flaniverse, they trust him to deliver those complex characters and emotionally rich stories. There are even fan theories popping up online trying to figure out the abstract concepts, the haunted house from Chuck's childhood, and if there are any hidden connections to Flanagan's other King adaptations. Communities like Ersti Fanking and Haunting Helical House are buzzing. What does this pre-release excitement tell you?
It shows just how much King and Flanagan have connected with their fans. King saying good things about it tells his readers that the film stays true to the story, even if it's not all about horror. And Flanagan's fans, they expect smart storytelling and deep emotions from him. The fact that people are already theorizing shows that they're invested. They're ready to unravel the mysteries and connect the dots.
So let's get into the production details. We got some juicy bits here. This was a passion project for Flanagan, apparently. He wrote the script before he even pitched it. And he said outright, not horror, mostly, comparing it to movies like Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. It was an independent production, which maybe gave him more creative freedom. The cast, like we said, is star-studded. Many of them have worked with Flanagan before. Stephen King saw an early cut and called it gorgeous. How does that endorsement from the author himself affect your anticipation?
That's huge. For King to say gorgeous, it means a lot. He's known for being picky about adaptations, so his praise tells us Flanagan's really captured the spirit of the novella, maybe even made it even better. Comparing it to those films, Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, it paints a picture, This is about characters, it's emotional, it's human, it's not about the jump scares. And the independent production thing, that's promising too. It often means the director has more control over their vision. Plus, all those returning actors, it probably means they have a great working relationship, a shared understanding of Flanagan's style.
We know filming happened in Alabama late last year. Flanagan's keeping that reverse chronology from the book. No official word on any Dark Tower connections, though some fans are speculating because of similar themes. And of course, getting Tom Hiddleston to play the lead role, that's a big deal.
Sticking with the reverse chronology, it's bold, shows how unique this film's approach to storytelling is, how it wants us to think about time and memory. Filming in Alabama, that could give it a certain atmosphere, especially for those childhood scenes. The Dark Tower stuff, maybe it's just King fans hoping for a connection, but it shows how people see his work as interconnected. And having an actor like Hiddleston, it adds a lot of weight to the film. We can expect a performance with depth and nuance, which is essential for a story like this.
So looking ahead, what kind of impact do you think The Life of Chuck will have? A successful release could mean more adaptations of King's work that isn't horror. It could solidify Mike Flanagan as a director who can do more than just scary movies. A powerful performance from Hiddleston could showcase his dramatic range. And the film's themes, the meaning we find in life, the fact that we all die, these are things that could really resonate with audiences. The unique premise and nonlinear structure, that could make it a cult classic down the line. What kind of legacy do you see for this film?
That's tough to say. I think a lot depends on how it connects with a wider audience, beyond the existing fans. If it really resonates with people and they embrace the unconventional structure, it could definitely lead to more adaptations of King's work that explore different genres. For Flanagan, it's a chance to show his versatility, maybe draw in a whole new group of viewers, and for Hiddleston, this could be a defining role, showing off his ability to play complex and emotionally powerful characters. The themes, life, death, memory, they give it a timeless quality. And the unique storytelling style, if it's done well, could make it a film people want to watch again and again, A film that starts conversations.
Okay, before we wrap up, for those of you wanting to dive in deeper before seeing the film, here's your pop culture map. Some links to get you started. No official movie website yet, but you can check out IMDb for casting true info. Keep an eye on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic for those reviews once it's out. The Stephen King Wiki has a great page about the novella if you want more background. And if you want to connect with other fans and discuss those theories, head over to the Stephen King and Haunting of Hill House subreddits. Collider also has a review from Tiff for those early thoughts, and you can follow Mike Flanagan on social media for any updates.
Those are all great resources to check out while you're waiting for the film. Especially those online fan communities. They're going to be buzzing once more people have seen it.
Because there you have it. Everything you need to know about the life of Chuck before it hits theaters. This is a cinematic journey you won't want to miss. We're talking unique storytelling, thought-provoking themes, and phenomenal performances.
Yeah, from what we've seen, this is one of those films that stays with you. It'll get you thinking about what truly matters in life and the mark we leave behind.
What are you most excited about? What questions do you have? Go explore the source material, check out those early reviews, and get ready. The Life of Chuck is coming soon, and it's bound to get people talking.